And we just watched the water that evening rise and that day, and we went up around the church and had a look up there in the bridge and that and seen everybody. And during the afternoon, about, well, it was before supper, I'd say, about between 3 and 4, Ronnie and Trevor came in up the channel and just went in Joe's channel, and Craig had come around in his big boat and gone up in Joe's channel across from Mom's. Just drove in, turned around, drove out. It was just crazy. And meanwhile, our boats were out, my brother's and our two, and kept adjusting those as needed. So it was just a crazy day, damp, wet, cold, ice coming in, water coming in.
And in all your years, have you ever seen anything like that?
No. You have rising water in the spring, but it's never with that strength do you see it coming in here, or I haven't anyway. So it's just like your gut goes back and tells you there's something wrong, there's something not right. You know, it's just surreal. Came home after supper. First of all, the Mom and I walked up around the church and everything else, and I took some pictures of how high the water was, and I guess it was like this and under the bridge. That was the distance from the top to bottom of the bridge. And I came home and I go, okay, well, get my toothbrush, got a change of clothes. And then I got, well, I better, my knapsack is my everything for throwing everything in, so I threw in my handbag, change clothes, my toothbrush, I got my laptop, and then I go, Jesus, I should take my external hard drive, so I took that. My husband's guitar was on the floor, so I picked that up and put it on the couch, and I picked up his electric guitar and put that up as well. And I go, well, what else do I need? I better put on my hip rubbers. I'm only going to my mother's for the night, you know, just keeping on the boat. I didn't need all that. You wouldn't think, especially hip rubbers. So, but I was walking up the path and I'm going, Jesus. If it was a heavy load I was carrying, I'm like, oh, well, I'm the one that got carried back tomorrow morning, but I'll continue on. So that's what I done. And that's why I had a change of clothes, my external hard drive for my laptop, and my laptop, my cell phone, and the charger, and my toothbrush, and my handbag. Why would I take my handbag to my mother's for a night? You know? Your gut just tells you. Nobody was in a good spot that night. So. And I thank Craig. I called Craig. We were talking to each other on Facebook, I think. And I said, well, I'm spending the night at Mom's if you need to get a hold of me. I got my cell phone or call Mom's or on Facebook. So we had talked and that, and then I was watching TV. And about, well, what was it, about 1:30, I think you called me. And Mom had gone to bed already. And I had gone to check around midnight, and I seen Craig up at the bridge checking and that, and I went out and checked our boats, and they were fine. I looked down towards Gramps, and our two down there was good, and I hauled Jean's one in a little bit more. And that was around midnight. And then about 1:30, Craig called. He says, I think you and your mom need to come up to the hall because it's coming in hard and heavy now. So I go, okay. So I went in and woke up my 83-year-old mother. I always get upset about this. And I said to her, I said, Mom, you got to get up. She goes, of course she's done. She's sleeping, right? And she goes, what? I said, yeah. I said, after Craig had called, I went out and had a look. And you could see it starting to come over the bank then at Mom's. And, sorry. And I hauled Jean's boat in some more and put my foot on the grapple. And I looked down at our boats down at Grandpa's, and you could see then the water was already up where the bank. It was getting black. I didn't have time to go down there and check our boats anyway. So I went in and woke up Mom. And, of course, she's like, well, what do I take? I said, take what you want, what you can. I said, we'll just go up to the hall. We'll get dressed and go up, and she was like, okay. And then she's like, I don't know what to take. I said, take what you want. But I'm thinking, you got to take your pills with you. You're diabetic. I threw stuff in the knapsack for her to snack on and stuff like that. So I guess it was about 20 minutes, half an hour at the most, from when Craig had called and from when we had left Mom's. Now, when Craig called, the water was just starting to come over the bank at Mom's. When we left Mom's, we had to have our hip rubbers up and we stepped off into water. So that's how fast it was coming in. And as we were going up, we couldn't walk out on the bank like you would normal. Because there's a little dip up there by Mom's, so we had to go in around the tree line, because if we had gone the normal way, we would have been over our hip rubbers. And as it was, when we were walking around, Mr., my dog, didn't leave Mom's side. And there was one point when we were walking in around that he actually had to swim a little bit. So it happened, it was coming in so fast and hard. And here we are in the dark, and Mom's like, why don't we go sit in Jean's boat, because it was coming in on the bank then, right? I said, no, we're not going to sit in the boat. Jesus would freeze for starters, wet and everything else and dark. And I said, what can we do? There's nothing we can do in the boat. We'll walk up to the hall. So we found our way around. We had flashlights and that. But as we were walking up the path, we couldn't walk on the path going up towards the church. We had to walk on the side. And as you were walking along the side, you could see the water coming in. And it was coming in faster than we were walking. And it was taking leaves and everything else with it. And when we got up to the church, we stopped, and because the street light's on up there at the bridge, and we just stopped and we looked. It was like, we were just like, Jesus. It was awe. We were in awe. But it was in awe, not in a nice way. It was in awe because here was pans of ice that had come off the shore that was the full length of the channel, the full length of the bridge, and you could hear it hitting and grinding against the bridge. And if you shone the flashlight, we shone the flashlight out, and you could see debris from people's yards with reflector stuff over there. And it was like, what do you do? You know, like really and truly, what do you do? You can't go on the bridge to go anywhere because it's over the bridge, because it's coming over the land. So we just stood there for a minute. I tried to take a picture, but it's like, they didn't turn out that well. But it's just like, I don't know, there was nothing normal about it. Not a thing normal about it. We got to the hall, and then we went in there for a little bit, and then people across the channel from us came over there as well. Jordan, I guess, had gone and picked up people, and Ann and Dave and Ozzy, and then Benny came over, and Joy came over with her dogs and everything else. But the saddest thing is that by the time, in the short time from when Mom and I left her place till they came across the channel, they actually drove up on the land in their boats. And that's where they stepped out of their boats, was on the land where we had walked. So within what, half an hour, 45 minutes? So that's how extreme it was. And if that's an act of God, then that's not the God I know. Simple as that. You know, it should never have been. And in my mind, you can go back to April, when they started letting the water, holding the water back. And then you had all this heavy ice, and it was cool temperatures. We had a cooler spring, so there was nothing really. The snow on the land was gone, but it wasn't cool. You know, like the natural for the river hadn't happened yet.
So there's no doubt in your mind what the cause of this was.
There's no doubt in my mind, and they're no God. Simple as that. They might think and act like they are, and they might be elected, but that don't give them God powers. You know, it's It's crazy how that happened when it never ever should have happened, and we were never ever forewarned. I had heard that they had let water off in Churchill a couple days before, and I had sent a message to Ann, I believe, or I talked to her or something. I asked her to ask Dave if he'd heard anything. He hadn't, and then I guess he contacted them or something, and they said no, they weren't letting water off. Well, of course they were letting water off. They got a dam. They don't have a big reserve up there, so what are they going to do? Let the water off. They have to save their structures. The hell with ours. We didn't need that. So. It was the people of Mud Lake that told them that the ice from the height of the land, the heavy ice, had to come over the falls, block the mouth of the river to make it safe for us to travel. And look at the difference in the rifting this year. There is no solid ice, right? Look at all the holes around. The little bit of rifted there is, it's just, what, 4 to 6 inches, I suppose, of ice that made in moving water. So, yeah. There's a lot in Elcor. We told Elcor that you'd never know we told them. But yet they said it was runoff from Churchill. Oh yeah, it was runoff from Churchill, all right. Spring thaw up there was what they let out of their dam. That's their spring thaw. In my humble opinion, I'm no engineer, but I'm not stupid either. There's no point to worry, you wouldn't be living. I'm not going to let them control my life, so I'm not going to enjoy my life and enjoy living where I want to live. I don't tell them where they can live or where they want to live. So this is what I like, and I've had it said to me, oh God, not that long ago really. I was talking to somebody, they go, so this spring you're going to move to the valley? I said, move to the valley? They go, yeah, for breakup. I said, move for breakup? No, I'm not moving for breakup. Well, what if it happens again? What if it floods? I said, well, I guess Nalcor's not doing their job. You know, if they let that happen to us again, they're not doing their job. They're not monitoring their things. They're not, now since the flood, they've got a water monitoring station between Mom's and the church. They took some of Mom's land without even asking her to put a water monitoring station on, and apparently you can go to Environment Canada somewhere and you can see the channel. Apparently, I don't know, I never went and checked it out. But it's like if in my mind, if I let them boot me out of here this spring and say the whole community goes, well, we can't stay here because we might be flooded out again. Well, I could go to the valley and I could be flooded from the valley as well. But in saying that, I feel if we move to the valley, government's going to go, well, they're just too afraid to live there, so you know what? We'll just buy you out and make you move or whatever. So I was like, you know what? They flood me out. They flood me out. I'm not moving up, so they can go, well, you're too afraid to live there, so I'm not going to, you can't go back there. If we got to watch what we have to do. If they should be watching what they're doing. The people in Mud Lake, we are worth something, and it's not dollars and cents. Our lives matter. So I won't be here, but I'll be more prepared for their their lack of respect for our lifestyle.
It's quite the quote right there.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to make me try to stop it. Yeah, it's true. It's a lack of respect for our lifestyle. The land slopes back, so the whole island of Mud Lake was underwater. The whole island. Yeah. And it's just crazy to think about it. So, my grandfather, my mother's father grew up here. Mom was born and raised here. Grandma is from Traverse Spin, Mom's mother. So it's not like, Craig's grandfather, and well, his grandmother was my grandfather's sister, so, you know, like, we've got generations here, and trappers are not going to leave their family in harm's way. Simple as that. It would never be done for them to go off and leave their family where they think they're going to be flooded out or hurt or whatever. They're not doing it, and this is an old community, so if that's not saying something, I don't know what in the hell it's saying, you know? It's, it was, I don't know, a surreal night. But in the grand scheme of everything, there was good communication between the community. I've heard, like, we came together, nobody panicked, nobody went crazy and berserk and said, oh my Jesus, we're going to drown or anything like that. People just worked together to get through the night and get done what had to be done. But then we live where we live because we want to, and this is the lifestyle we chose and we choose now. We have our amenities as hydro and internet. Well, you pay for everything, so to some people it's a cabin, but to us it's our home, you know. So there's a price to everything, I guess. But this is what I like. This is how we grew up, and this is what I want to keep. I don't want to lose this.
Right.
Yeah. The community itself has suffered loss, and not just families being gone, but closeness too. Even with people that have places down here that we call weekenders, right? You know, it's affected a lot of people in a lot of ways that, in some ways, damage that'll never be repaired. So it's sad, but it's true. Mm-hmm.
So it lost a lot more than just the material things
Oh,
and
yeah.
the houses. And,
Yeah.
And this even feeling of safety, that's all gone, but you've lost so much even more than that.
Well, the safety, yeah. Well, you've lost relationships that you thought were good before, right? Really and truly. And it put a fear in people, but as to each their own. But as me is like, well, I'm not gonna live my life around their dance. They're not doing anything for me to make my life better. You know, if they were, they wouldn't have done this project. Simple as that. So, if they really